Alright, so this is Campbell Mackay with my Reflection 2, looking over my final design project and the first semester of engineering in ENGI 1103. So, describe one challenge you faced during the semester. So one challenge we faced during the semester was the fact that when given our initial problem definition and our background information, our group sort of automatically decided on a solution. So ideally, we would have used our engineering tools and conceptual design steps to come up with a whole bunch of solutions initially so that we could trim it down. We sort of had to work backwards in a sense. Like, we already had an idea, and then we had to like go back and then think about more ideas to compare it to. Yeah, that would have been just ideal if we didn't think too far ahead and just kept creating or generating more concepts, So during the concept generation phase, we should have slowed down our approach and used a couple more engineering tools like C-Sketch and brainstorming, but we did use those, but also use a couple more. That way we could have maximized the potential solutions. What engineering skills are most important? So in my first reflection, I said that problem solving, technical knowledge, communications and teamwork, understanding of fabrication techniques, and time management were the 5 most important skills. I still think those are all very important, but I would say, given that I wrote that technical knowledge was the most important, I would reduce that, and I would make problem solving a much bigger component relative to the other skills. Problem solving is probably one of the most important skills an engineer can have. It doesn't really matter what you know, because you can always go find someone who knows more than you, but you just have to make it work. That's your job. So, you can always learn more, but being able to apply that knowledge and then fix problems on the fly, that's a really great skill. So I think that we applied that skill pretty well, given that we had that initial issue of just having we came out of the gates with an idea, but we also applied this later on when we realized pieces of wood, like scrap wood, were just going to be warped and they weren't going to line up properly. We made a couple workarounds there, but yeah, that's definitely a skill that I think should be way more important than I listed in my first reflection. What engineering design skills are you most proficient in? And what engineering design skill do you need improvement in? So I would say I am most proficient in my understanding of fabrication technique. I think I'm good at all these skills. I'm decent. I can always work on them, but I brought the most to the table with my understanding of fabrication techniques. My dad, he works as a carpenter. He has a CNC business too, and I worked at a home hardware. So I talked with a bunch of contractors who build stuff for a living. So I learned quite a bit about carpentry, and I think that brought a lot to the table when we were building our greenhouse. Just by having that knowledge, I sped up our process quite a bit. What do I need improvement on? I think I can improve on everything here, but definitely want to work on my problem solving just to make it quicker. I think just being quicker with my problem solving would be excellent. Having that, being fast on being fast on the fly, that would have saved us a lot of time and made our project just that much better. Did I perform my SMART goal? So my SMART goal was to write daily lists, weekly checklists, I would say I did pretty well overall. I made a weekly checklist every week, and I made a daily checklist every week, and it kept me on top of all my work. I never turned in an assignment late. Yeah, feels pretty good to have that done. It made me pretty accountable, and I never really went to bed without checking everything off. So I think I could have put a little bit more on the list just to make myself do a little bit more. I think I sold myself short on what I could do, but hindsight is 20/20. So I think if I do this again, if I continue doing this, I'll definitely push myself just that much more. What do you intend to do after graduating from engineering program at Dalhousie? So I plan on going into chemical engineering. I'm from New Brunswick. Irving Oil and Irving Pulp and Paper are pretty big back home. I'll probably end up working there sometime, but I do want to go around the world with my skills, and maybe even teach. That's how I want to contribute to society. Ideally, I get to teach the younger generations, or even my generation, what I can do, so that they can do it too. I'm an instructor, a swim instructor, and that's one of the most fulfilling things I have ever had in my life. Getting to see kids get better at what they do. If I could end up teaching kids like chemistry or chemical engineering even, that would be great. But also, chemical engineering, you can do a lot of stuff. Like the energy sector, they're making renewable fuels. Chemical engineering is a huge part of that. And like medicine, like drugs, that all needs chemical engineering. That could save people's lives. I think that's awesome too. What skills do you still need to develop to transition into this position post BEng? Definitely just that problem solving, but also I think communications and teamwork. I think getting out there more, meeting more people, joining more projects, so that way, and like getting more work experience so I can learn how to work on a team even more. That's just something you always want to work on, just getting better and better at that. I don't think you can ever be too good at working on a team. So those are my thoughts. Yeah, that's my reflection too. So now I will transition into my video. This is December 6th still, it's 10:30, and I'm going to talk about peptides. So peptides, they are strings of molecules called amino acids. You've heard of them. Amino acids, obviously, those are proteins, but peptides are short proteins, and they are basically drugs that they have a variety of effects. But in my case, I want to talk about muscle growth. So using peptides, which are proteins, they can interact with your growth hormone systems and protein synthesis systems, and honestly, they can be one of the best things for you, unless you're natty. Like, there's plenty of them that are just amazing for muscle growth. BPC 150, and not even for muscle growth, injury recovery. They are some of the most amazing drugs that you could take. BPC 157 and TB 500. These things can like regenerate your ligaments and stuff. That stuff's unheard of. Those are places that don't usually get blood flow, but by using these drugs, you're able to recover from like decently severe injuries. Injuries that usually require surgery. Obviously, since they help you recover faster, they're better for muscle growth, because the faster your muscles recover, the more you can train them. So BPC, I want to talk specifically about BPC 157. I think that one's really interesting. So BPC is derived from human gastric juice. So yeah, it's from your stomach, and it is regenerative, anti-inflammatory, and wound healing. It can heal muscles, tendons, bones, and gut tissues, and it's honestly really unregulated right now. So it's not approved, so you know it works, bro. That's what you were saying. It's used in like a whole bunch of sports medicine. I don't think it can be any more effective than it is right now. So it's banned by World Anti-Doping Agency, so yeah, it definitely works. If it didn't work, it wouldn't be banned. That's how you know it works. There's a whole bunch of like controversy surrounding it. Is it natty? It's not. Like, if you used it to recover from maybe like a shoulder injury or something like that, I don't think you're not natty anymore. I think that's perfectly fine. If you had like a torn labrum or something and you're using BPC to recover from it, I think that's fine. I don't care. But if you are just using BPC 157 like regularly, just pinning up, yeah, you're definitely not natty, bro. You're using it to get huge. It's just the ethics of it, bro. Like, it's morally it's morally wrong to claim natty when you're using BPC 157. You know what I mean? Regardless, yeah. If you, I tried to put my homeboy who tore his knee up onto this, but he wouldn't take it because he got surgery already. I think it'd probably help him still because he's recovering still. But yeah, just these things are amazing. They don't have androgenic effects, or so it's not like it's not like a steroid. It's more just like a drug, and there might be side effects, but they're definitely not going to be as heavy as like a steroid, dude. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just spreading misinformation. Shout out misinformation. They won't be as effective as like a steroid, though. I don't think they would be, because there's going to be some loss. You know what I mean? It's bonding to the receptors that create it, and then those have to bond to like the actual receptors. So it's not like you're getting like direct steroids right into your bloodstream. But like, I feel like that's definitely healthier than, just pinning up tren. But if you're really just going for muscle, I don't think anybody cares about like how healthy you are. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't. I would pin to fuck. And I'm gonna pin to fuck one day, but not today. So regardless, that's the video. Yeah, word.